Hello, Behavior Interactive. My name is Patrick Tokars, and I'm a member of Team 1 and a capstone student in Sheridan's game design program. Our team consists of 6 members, including myself, Alexander DiCarlo, Connor Dobin, Eric Cousins, Patricio Seals Villegas, and Sean York Zorn Fawcett. I'll be your voiceover for this presentation, showcasing Project Cygnus, a sci-fi 3D isometric action puzzle game. The format of this video will be going over all of the required deliverables for this presentation, as well as an end section where we will pose questions that we would love for you and your team to answer. Any and all feedback is appreciated and will be taken into consideration and possibly implemented. Thank you in advance, and let's begin with the presentation. Crash landed on a destroyed corporate planet. Players use the remains of the previous civilization to escape by harnessing the planet's innate power source. Use the planet's strange pollutant energy source to reactivate long-dormant technology to escape from the planet and defend yourselves from the threats of this hostile world. Our core mechanic of Project Cygnus is energy transfer. Energy transfer is a part of a larger energy system that allows the player to extract an energy resource from the environment by using a melee attack on static plants, static electrical boxes, or enemies. Energy is a sandbox currency that can be used to interact and create new interactions within the environment. Energy is used as ammunition for the player character's main weapon, which when shot at an actor, such as a puzzle element or enemies, will transfer the energy to said actor while depleting the player's personal energy reserve. The players themselves can extract too much energy. This puts the player in an overcharged state that damages them and makes them deal more damage. Likewise, environmental actors can also be put in an overcharged state by having the player transfer too much energy to, for example, a puzzle element, which creates an additional interaction. The core loop involves players using a melee attack to extract energy, then using the shotgun to transfer energy, and thus creating an interaction. The shotgun is the primary weapon and tool that the player uses for interacting with the environment. As previously stated, the shotgun uses the energy resource as ammunition, and by using 2 energy blocks, the shotgun can fire 1 shot, which can transfer energy to an actor. As players traverse Cygnus, they venture through an unfriendly world and surroundings. Enemies and overcharging pose a threat to the player, thus the player is equipped with a finite health pool alongside a shield that gradually recharges for protection. Many levels will contain a remnant of the corporate's expansions within the proof of concept that take the form of a mining laser, but many sections of the game will have large, impressive level elements that the player can manipulate by using their energy resource. The traditional WASD control scheme is used for player movement within the 3D isometric viewpoint. Combat control scheme utilizes point-and-shoot mouse controls, with the left click allowing the player to fire their primary weapon, and the right click being used for melee attacks. Right click can also be held down and released for a lunge attack. Hollow Knight's soul, energy, and spell system were a major inspiration for the act of acquiring resources through the combat system and expanding said resource. In Cygnus, this is represented of the energy system. The Halo series sandbox of enemies, verbs, and combat options were a big influence, specifically for future AI behavioral loop design. From an indie game named Tunic, we've taken major inspiration from its camera perspective and accompanying level layout, as well as its melee combat. From another indie title named Synthetic, we've taken reference from the top-down shooting mechanics, specifically the game feel of elements and weapon complexity. And lastly, another indie title named Void Bastards. We plan to work towards their style of cell shading aesthetic for a simple, clean, but visually pleasing look to the game. Taking place on a planet at the very edge of human colonized space, once controlled solely by a ruthless resource extraction-based megacorp, a group of investigators must activate the remains of the planet's technology left behind by the corporation to manage a way to escape the doomed world while exploring what this ecosystem has become and how it got to this point. The setting of a game is a destroyed world with a massively polluted ecosystem, now reliant on the pollutants left behind by the corporation. Decaying wrecks and half-functioning remains of the corporation string together the scarce habitable sections of the world. Much of the game's narrative themes are meant to reflect modern-day oncoming catastrophic problems: space garbage, ecosystem pollution, and corporate exploitation. This game reflects what Earth may be in the not-so-distant future. Going forward, we plan to add significantly more depth to the gameplay through our combat systems and ecosystem development within our proof of concept, which we are developing as a vertical slice of a game. Additionally, we feel that our game lacks soul, and we plan to improve, redesign, and add mechanics that allow for the game to send a message that can be interpreted by the player. We want to focus on the idea of anti-capitalism and emerging ecosystems within a destroyed world. For combat, we plan to refine the controls and action-to-action gameplay, including new combat options and new interactions within the environment. Additionally, a core pillar of the game that is still in the design phase is living ecosystems. This is another key aspect we will be working on going forwards towards our first public playtest in November. This system will include improved enemy AI and further connections to the environment. With this feature, we hope to have a more complete depiction of the game. This is close to the end of the video, therefore the team would like to post some questions that hopefully your team can jump off of for feedback. The questions are as follow. Are the UI elements helpful even in a minimalistic state? Is the idea of powering machinery with energy communicated effectively? What strategies would you suggest for incorporating game elements that convey the concept of anti-capitalism in a capitalistic environment? What design strategies do you recommend for incorporating messages into the design? This is the end of the proof of concept presentation. Team 1 sends lots of thanks and very much appreciates Behavior taking the time to review our project. We greatly appreciate the opportunity to share our project with you, and we look forward to any feedback or insights that you might have. Thank you again, and feel free to add us on LinkedIn. We would love to keep in touch and send progress updates on the project. Our team names will be in the start menu and end screen of the game. Peace out, and remember, the only problem with capitalism is the capitalists.